G'day, Hot Wheels Joe here again. Got a more basic video for you today. This one I'll be talking about how to drill a car that's been riveted and either wheel swap it or take it apart to be painted. So I'll talk through step by step how to do that. I was originally going to drill these couple of cars here and swap the engines over and just make a nice looking hot rod out of this ute. It's already nice, but I want to paint it a different colour. So yeah, so what you're going to need today, you're going to need a car of your choice that you want to drill. So I've used the Mazda RX-7 here, and then I want to put new wheels on it. So I'm going to perform a wheel swap. What you'll need today is an electric drill. It's going to make your life a lot easier. I've got a 5.5mm head on it, that's just what works for me. Again, if you have a size that you prefer, then do that, or someone may tell you something a bit different. Just go with what works for you, and I find it takes off the rivet quite cleanly. The next thing you'll need is a small flathead screwdriver. That's going to be used to pry the body off nicely without damaging the metal. And the next thing you'll need is a pair of pliers. That'll be for removing the wheels. So without further ado, here goes. I wear gloves just so I don't get any fingerprints or sticky stuff on the car and on the bits of the car. So if you're wanting to save the paint on the car when you're drilling it, put a piece of material underneath your platform so then it doesn't scratch the roof. But in this instance, I'm probably going to paint this anyway, so I don't mind too much. So you want to flip it over, get your drill, hold your Hot Wheels firmly. Don't hold it like this, please, because it's going to end up drilling through the body and you're going to drill your fingers one day. It may not happen 100 times, but the next 101st time you might just drill your finger, and that's a trip to A&E that you don't want. So just do this, it's fine, it still works. And you can still hold it steady. Make sure you got a nice firm grip. Place your drill bit in the center there and start off gently until you can feel the drill bit grip. And you can rotate the bit around again if you want. You can stop and check now and then if you want to, but this here is just fine. When you can see that the head has been leveled off with the plastic surrounding it, that's what you want right there. You don't want to really drill into the plastic itself. And again with the rear rivet, same thing. Right, there you go. So a couple of things to be really wary of. Make sure you look at the type of car that you're drilling and make sure that the rivets and the body is metal, not plastic, because if you go and drill plastic rivets, they're going to pop through a lot easier and you're probably going to get your hand. And some of the older castings of cars are going to be a lot more difficult than this to drill. So this was quite easy. So next step, separating the body. So again, holding it upside down. Is it in focus? Yep. So you again may do this differently, but this is what works for me. I poke my small flat screwdriver in where the wheel well is, into where the into where the chassis sort of meets the axle of the wheel, and I just lever it up. Like you find something to purchase on and you just lever it up, and as you can see it's already coming out. Again, do it to the back, and this way I've found it doesn't damage the metal, it doesn't damage the wheel, and it pops off nice and easy. And there, it's just popped off and it will just come apart. Windows, interior, and then the base. The base here on most cars typically looks like this, where it's held on by 3 harnesses, I guess those little plastic tabs. They will just hold that wheel in place. Now some models have a metal base, so you're going to want to be careful when you take off those little clips. In that case, I would use the pliers to essentially pinch off those tabs one by one and basically nibble them off with the pliers. You'll find it works quite well. With plastic ones, just use your flathead. that works quite well. So just flip it over. You just need to put your flathead underneath the tab and bend it up a little bit. Gentle does it. Again, don't hold it like this, because if you're putting pressure on and this slips, it actually will go through your finger. I'm speaking from experience because I've done that. Not through my finger, but into it, and it made it bleed. So, and it's pretty sore. Now it's okay if a couple of the tabs break off. But as you can see, I've bent up enough to just work out that axle, and it will come out itself. And you can just clean up the sort of axle slot there, just to get it ready for your next set of wheels there. That should be fine. We're not doing anything special, not stancing it or anything, so that's just fine. Again with the back, lifting up those tabs. Just like that should be alright, and you just gently shimmy that up and out, and gone. You got yourself a nice cool spare pair of plastic wheels. Now I've chosen a pair of rubber tyres that I want, which are these 8-spoke or 10-spoke wheels of a different casting, which I think might look pretty cool. So we just put them in the same way that the other ones came out. Just make sure they're the same length of axle and they'll fit nicely. Otherwise you're going to have to play around with trying to make them fit, which is a different video again. Put your body on. That body has little holders on it. Don't know if you can see there. There's little gaps that will hold the wheel down. And for this will be just fine. Put your window placement on. You can put the window into the body shell, and that way it gets the correct placement. This one I believe you have to sort of put it up under the boot and then down, so it's a bit more hard. And just flip it over and check it's looking nice before you put it all back together, just in case it's a bit off kilter. And just kind of as carefully as you can hold it all together, sandwich it down. It'll kind of want to fall all into shape anyway. If it doesn't, just give it a bit of a shimmy around. See, I've gone and got the windscreen stuck. So we'll start again. That in there. You can bust out the super glue if you want to, if your pieces are not staying. But I'll give it another go. It's a bit hard holding it on this angle, but we'll see. In you go. I think we got it that time. There you go. A little bit of mucking around, sorry, but in the end you get there. Once you get your placement right, you'll feel it's wanting to snap back down. Just push it against those rivets there, and it will snap back into place like that. And you've got yourself a pretty cool looking mainline vehicle now. So yeah, sometimes it does take a bit of fiddling around, as you saw just then. Some cars are easy, some cars are not. So that's how you do it. Any questions, just post a comment and ask away, and I'll try and answer it as best I can. If you want, you can glue those rivets, just a little bit of a drop of super glue, and each rivet will hold the whole body together if that's what you want to do. Or you can just, it holds pretty firm as is. It won't shake free. You'll have to really pull it apart to get it apart again. Rightio, that'll do for today. Thank you for looking.